the Louise Lortel Theater. This kid, Lucille Lortel, sorry. He plays 35 characters in this town.
Wow.
Look it up. It is really worth going to see. It's spectacular. The young man is spectacular. The music is great. It's fantastic. Sarah's ass is on Behind the Table podcast today. And it's a good ass. We want you all to have a great day, everyone. Take a little time to enjoy the view. Don't give up. Don't give up. We are in this together, and we'll get through it together. We'll see you tomorrow.
At Old Town Redemption Center, we are always ready to help with any fundraisers or bottle drives. We are here to help our community. Like and follow us on Facebook for upcoming weekly holiday giveaways and our monthly $100 drawing.
Spring is here and the rebates are huge with Valley Home Services. With the quiet and efficient Fujitsu Air Stage units, there's never been a better time to buy. And with Efficiency Main rebates up to $9,500. Plus, Valley Home is offering an additional promotional discount of $750 per system until May 31st. Best of all, everyone qualifies for a rebate even if you've received one before. Spring into home comfort and incredible rebates with Valley Home Services.
At Old Town Redemption Center, we are always ready to help with any fundraisers or bottle drives. We are here to help our community. Like and follow us on Facebook for upcoming weekly holiday giveaways and our monthly $100 drawing.
You're watching ABC 7 Bangor.
This is ABC 7 News at Noon.
Officials have released the cause of the fire and explosion at the Robbins Lumber Mill in Searsmont that killed one firefighter and injured several others. Good afternoon, I'm Susan Farley. The FBI was at a residence in Bangor this morning, and Maine Health Waldo Hospital gets a pediatric readiness designation. Thank you for joining us. We'll have more on these and other stories coming up. First, let's check in with meteorologist Devin Biggs. Devin?
Hey Susan, happy Wednesday afternoon. The last of some precipitation we saw last night has cleared out of here. We are going to be dry today under a partly cloudy sky. It will be a little breezy out there too, with winds gusting up to about 20 to even 25 miles per hour. There are those clouds right there, while farther down toward the south, some areas are seeing some showers and even a few rumbles of thunder. Futurecast moving forward, you can see as we do push forward, some other areas to the north are seeing some precipitation, but for us, we are going to stay dry under a partly cloudy sky. We'll have some clouds approaching overnight with some rain showers as well. Those rain chances continuing into your Thursday. Here we go. We do have some gusty winds up to 20 to even 25 miles per hour today. Those winds will back off for a while overnight, maybe a few sporadic gusts up to 15 miles per hour. As we head towards tomorrow, here we are, the winds up again, 25, maybe even 30 miles per hour, especially along the coast. So partly cloudy and breezy. I believe all precipitation will hold off and stay to the north with highs in the low 80s, northwest wind at around 25 miles per hour. I believe the rain will move in tonight, otherwise mostly cloudy with lows in the upper 40s and that north wind at around 5 to 10 miles per hour. The hourly forecast for this afternoon, partly to mostly cloudy with temperatures in the 80s and then cooling off. Your full 5-day forecast is coming up. Susan?
Thank you, Devin. Investigators have ruled the fire and explosion at the Robbins Lumber Mill as accidental. Investigators say they believe the fire originated in the area of the unloader mechanism at the base of the silo. They say before the fire suppression could fully contain the smoldering fire, the rapid ignition of suspended particulate resulted in an explosion within the silo. Investigators determined during the explosion the silo actually lifted from its concrete base, releasing large amounts of sawdust and additional material. They say the silo then toppled over, at which point the surrounding area rapidly became engulfed in fire. According to investigators, that fire then spread to adjacent buildings within the mill complex. A spokesperson for the State Fire Marshal's office says the investigation is not over. She says it will remain open and officials will return in the coming months for more detailed examinations. There was a large police presence on Essex Street in Bangor earlier this morning. There are a few details. The FBI has confirmed they are, quote, conducting court-authorized activity. They declined to comment beyond that. We will have more information for you tonight at 6. One person is dead after a crash in Glenburn Tuesday morning. At around 10:15, the Penobscot County Sheriff's Office responded to reports of a serious two-vehicle crash. It happened at the intersection of Route 221 and the Pushaw Road.
2 vehicles were involved. We had a pickup with a trailer that was headed north and another vehicle headed south. The other vehicle took a left turn and they collided.
The Sheriff's Office says the passenger of the small SUV was taken to the hospital but died during transport. The driver of the SUV was taken to the hospital with serious but non-life-threatening injuries. The 2 occupants of the truck received minor injuries and were released at the scene. The cause of the crash remains under investigation. Police are also investigating a deadly accident in Dover Foxcroft. Police say it was about noon on Tuesday when they were called to Route 7. 2 vehicles had collided and a passenger in one of the vehicles was discovered to be deceased. Authorities are not releasing information on the others involved, including their identities. They say that information will be released as the investigation into the crash continues. The murder trial for a man accused of killing a Bangor woman got underway yesterday. 44-year-old Richard Thorpe is accused of killing 39-year-old Virginia Cookson of Bangor. She was found dead inside her home at 200 Larkin Street in September 2024. According to an affidavit, 2 of Cookson's co-workers from the Quality Inn went to her residence after she didn't show up for work. The document says they found her in a downstairs bedroom covered with a blanket. According to the affidavit, one of the co-workers touched her exposed foot and it felt cold. The document says when authorities arrived, they found a cord wrapped around Cookson's neck. The affidavit cites sources close to Cookson who told police that Thorpe was her ex-boyfriend and Thorpe had allegedly been abusive in the past. A Bangor man is facing domestic violence assault charges after a family gathering turned violent over the weekend. Police were called to an Essex Street apartment for a reported family fight just before 11 p.m. on May 22nd. When officers arrived, they learned 3 people had allegedly been injured by 32-year-old Ryan Martin of Bangor. A spokesperson for the Bangor Police Department says Martin had left the scene prior to officers arriving. The spokesperson says officers located Martin just after 6:30 a.m. on May 23rd and placed him under arrest. He's being charged with 3 counts of domestic violence assault. Maine Forest Rangers were busy with a wildfire in Piscataquis County over the weekend. They were called to Township 4, Range 13 on Sunday for a wildfire that had already burned approximately 10 acres. A spokesperson says fire personnel on the ground and air support stopped it from growing at 25 acres. The spokesperson says it is currently being monitored for interior hotspots, but there is no threat to the public or any structures. Rangers are investigating what started that fire. Governor Janet Mills joined the Maine Coalition Against Sexual Assault and other officials at St. Joseph's Hospital Tuesday to celebrate funding for statewide sexual assault kit tracking systems. The event highlighted the effort of lawmakers and partners who helped make the funding possible. Governor Mills signed the budget into law last month and spoke about how the new systems will help victims of sexual assault.
Bolstered funding for sexual assault services so that every survivor can get help. 1-800 lines and on-the-spot support services.
Advocates for the program say it will give survivors more transparency about where their evidence kit is in the process following their exam. In 2024, St. Joseph partnered with the coalition on an 18-month pilot program to track and keep inventory of the kits, which helped inform this year's statewide expansion. A Central Maine medical facility is being recognized for its commitment to providing top-level care to some of the smallest patients. Our Alex Schley tells us what this recognition means for the medical center and the community that it serves.
Tuesday, Maine Health Waldo Hospital became the first medical center in the county to receive a pediatric readiness designation. The recognition is part of the EMS department's Always Ready for Children Improvement Project, which aims to ensure patients receive the same high-quality care across the state.
Any parent or guardian of a child that brings a patient into an emergency room never wants to hear, we do okay care. They want to hear that we do the best care.
The program evaluates facilities through a 3-step process led by the Pediatric Emergency Care Coordinator.
This survey shows that if you score above an 88 out of 100, and Waldo scored above 94 out of 100, that the evidence suggests that you are better at caring for children. So you have a true reduction in mortality.
Hospitals that receive the designation must also meet standards including having pediatric size equipment, specialized training, improved pediatric quality measures, and disaster preparedness. State Senator Chip Curry says it's important for Waldo County families to know their children can receive high-quality emergency care close to home.
Realities of rural hospitals is they don't see a lot of critical child emergencies, and so when they do, they've got to be on, and so that means a lot of training, a lot of preparation, a lot to be ready for those situations when they're serving children.
Maine EMS for Children Program Manager Mark Minkler says several other hospitals across the state are currently working towards earning their own pediatric readiness designation, and he is confident more facilities will soon reach that benchmark. In Belfast, Alex Schley for ABC 7 and Fox 22 News.
Coming up on ABC 7 News at noon, a proposed citizens initiative has been blocked from appearing on the November ballot. We've got details when we return.
Falls are the #1 cause of injury to senior citizens. Acorn Stairlifts has the solution. Just don't fall. Sit, relax, ride with an Acorn Stairlift, the world's leader in stairlifts. Don't let limited mobility keep you from going up and down your stairs, even outside. Call Acorn Stairlifts now for a free information kit and no obligation quote. Why risk falling when you can safely ride?
Our Acorn Stairlift is definitely more affordable than moving.
The Acorn Stairlift has a padded seat and backrest. Safety sensors stop the chair if there are obstacles. The seat swivels and locks so you don't twist your body. And the Acorn Stairlift folds away. It even runs during power outages.
I was really surprised at how little it cost.
Call 1-800-732-2971 right now for your free information kit or visit our website today. That's 1-800-732-2971.
We've got a 100-year-old company here, and it's because of the service, the quality, and the experience. It gets done right.
I think we've been doing it for so long. The only thing that we do, that when we walk into a room, we automatically know how to treat that window. We can take any product that the customer is looking for and make it work in just about any situation that they present us with. So
there's no reason to be overwhelmed. No. We can help you through it.
We're not going anywhere. We've been around for 100 years.
Hank's Husqvarna is your trusted full-line Husqvarna dealer, offering you everything you need for your outdoor projects. From high-performance lawn tractors and zero-turn mowers to chainsaws, trimmers, battery-powered and powerful snowblowers, we have just what you need. Every piece of equipment is fully set up, serviced, and ready for use by our certified Husqvarna technician. And all sales are backed by our in-house Husqvarna warranty. For parts, service, or new equipment sales, make your way to Hank's Husqvarna in Carmel or Newport.
Chevy trucks are as capable and dependable as the Chevy people who drive them. You probably know one. Your sister. Your buddy. The ones who always show up. They all have that little extra something. And maybe you got it too.
Just announced. Get 2.9% APR on all 2026 Silverado 1500 models. Or get $6,000 total cash allowance, plus an additional $1,000 when you trade in an eligible vehicle.
You're watching ABC 7 Bangor.
Former President Biden is suing the Department of Justice in an attempt to block the release of transcripts and audio recordings from nearly a decade ago. The files are conversations between Biden and his ghostwriter for his memoir, and they are tied to a separate legal probe regarding whether Biden improperly handled classified documents, which he denies. ABC's Christiane Cordero has the details.
President Biden is suing the Department of Justice, demanding certain recordings and transcripts from a conversation he had with his ghostwriter stay private. His attorneys argue they have just 2.5 weeks until the DOJ releases those files to some members of Congress and conservative group the Heritage Foundation. The audio files are from interviews conducted in 2016 and 2017 between Biden and his ghostwriter on his memoir. The former president's attorneys argue the conversations happened within his own home and that because they were obtained through a criminal investigation, the DOJ has a responsibility to keep them private. The DOJ obtained them as part of a special counsel's probe into whether Biden mishandled classified documents after his time as vice president. That probe ended in February 2024 while he was president. It found Biden willfully retained and disclosed classified materials and questioned his mental acuity, but recommended no criminal charges. A month later, the special counsel testified.
I had to consider the president's memory and overall mental state and how a jury likely would perceive his memory and mental state in a criminal trial.
Soon after, Biden invoked executive privilege to prevent those files from becoming public, drawing criticism
Thank you all for being
from
here
some
this morning.
Republicans.
President Biden is apparently afraid for the citizens of this country and everyone to hear those tapes.
President Trump, who has also sued the courts to try and block certain records from becoming public, today criticized Biden on social media, calling him, quote, a crooked politician. The Heritage Foundation previously requested the files through the Freedom of Information Act. Biden's attorneys argue those files are exempt from that law. Christiane Cordero, ABC News, Washington.
A Russian daytime strike in Ukraine injures several. At least 11 people, including 2 children ages 11 and 12, were injured after Russia attacked the Ukrainian city of Odessa. Injuries include shrapnel wounds, burns, limb wounds, traumatic brain injuries, and acute stress reactions. A representative of State Emergency Services of Odessa region said that the fire sparked from the attack had burned through 1,800 square meters. President Trump is still pushing for a diplomatic solution to the war in Iran, but things got complicated this week when Iran was allegedly caught mining the Strait of Hormuz. Now, both countries are trading new threats while talks remain stalled. Correspondent Trey Yangst has more.
Tensions are escalating in the Strait of Hormuz following American strikes on Iranian targets, including a small number of vessels reportedly laying mines in the strait.
I think it's a foolish move in which they're playing with fire, and if they get too dangerous, President Trump may return fire.
Iran is now denouncing those attacks, calling them ceasefire violations and warning of potential military consequences.
They did not imagine that our armed forces, our defensive power, and our offensive system could perform such feats.
But the regime is under intense economic pressure as a result of the U.S. naval blockade. Iranian exports are down 90%, crude oil extractions cut in half, and the country is suffering. That pressure is helping move negotiations forward, but big sticking points remain, including Iran's demands for tolls from ships passing through the Strait of Hormuz.
And there's no country in the world that's in favor of a tolling system except the regime in Iran, so that's not acceptable.
But of course, the biggest area of disagreement is still the nuclear issue, and there's growing evidence the hardline elements of Iran's government simply aren't willing to give up their nuclear program.
The regime is intact, the hardliners are in control, they're all about recovery now. I'm sure inside their circles they haven't changed their goals one bit. They still want to be a nuclear power.
Iran's president has ordered internet access restored across the country, a possible sign the regime is softening its crackdown. In Tel Aviv, Trey Yangst, Fox News.
A proposed citizens' initiative regarding girls' sports and sex-segregated school facilities has been blocked from appearing on the November ballot. Secretary of State Shannon Bellows has upheld the recommendation from her office that the initiative be invalidated due to it lacking enough valid signatures. The decision comes shortly after a 2-day hearing stemming from a lawsuit challenging the signatures. According to Bellows, of the more than 8,000 petition forms filed, 67,150 signatures were deemed to be valid and 12,542 signatures were deemed to be invalid, roughly 500 short of the valid signature requirement. The Secretary of State's office determined out-of-state circulators failed to witness registered voters signing petition forms, and other signatures were signed by people pretending to be that person.
We take the integrity of the petition process just as seriously as we take the security of the voting process. Everyone involved must follow the law. Unfortunately, in this case, at least 2 out-of-state circulators failed to follow Maine law, and that is why their petitions have been invalidated.
The initiative was spearheaded by Protect Girls Sports in Maine, and that would mandate the sports participation and the use of facilities aligned with the sex of students' birth certificate. The organization shared a statement with us saying the Protect Girls Sports in Maine committee disagrees with the decision, and they are working to challenge it. The decision is final pending appeal, which must be submitted within 10 days of the determination. After the break, the town of Searsport's Wharf may soon get a major transformation. We'll be right back.
Lakeshore Restaurant in Dexter is open for the season, featuring a wide selection of seafood, lobster, salad, sandwiches, and more. Plus, don't forget to save room for dessert. Dine in or take out at 16 Crockett Road in Dexter. Visit us today.
Are your gutters weighed down by debris causing them to sag and overflow? I'm Tony Hafford with TC Hafford Basement Systems. Clogged gutters lead to costly repairs for your home, so skip the cleaning and stop the clogs with Gutter Shutter. Gutter Shutter, the world's best gutter, is a high-performance gutter with a lifetime no-clog guarantee. Stop the clutter, get Gutter Shutter. Call TC Hafford Basement Systems today for all things basementy.
We love it here. Here is the smell of fresh bread, good food at the table, a familiar face behind the counter, where we pick up right where we left off. Right here is where all the good happens, because here is home.
I once told Sam, if he wanted to grow his department store chain, offer lower prices every day. Oh, I didn't invent discount pricing, but we did invent something better, Dorsey's Red Tag Clearance.
Look for red tags store-wide at Dorsey's. The tags mean you'll save an additional 10 to 50% off Dorsey's already discounted prices. Exceptional values like these won't last long.
Remember, these can save you hundreds. Live beautifully, my friends.
Lakeshore Restaurant in Dexter is open for the season, featuring a wide selection of seafood, lobster, salad, sandwiches, and more. Plus, don't forget to save room for dessert. Dine in or take out at 16 Crockett Road in Dexter. Visit us today.
Recently, we've been hearing more and more about diabetes. One of the reasons is that there are more than 30 million Americans that have it. And of that number, 9 million of them don't even know it. The best way to start lowering your chances of getting type 2 diabetes is by eating healthy and staying active. I know this sounds a lot easier than it is, but if you start with a few small steps, you'll be on your way. And if you think eating right means that desserts are off limits, then you're gonna love what we're making today. It's a simple banana pudding from our diabetes-friendly website, everydaydiabeticrecipes.com. And is it ever easy? Plus, it only has 150 calories and half the carbs of traditional banana pudding. It's got layer after layer of vanilla wafers, sliced bananas, a homemade vanilla pudding that of course is diabetes friendly, and it's topped with a toasted meringue. It's so good, it tastes guilty, but it's not. I really do hope you'll go online and get the recipe for our guilt-free banana pudding pie. And while you're there, make sure you check out the link to ADA's website where you can take a test to see if you're prone to type 2 diabetes and get information that may help you prevent it. I'm Howard in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen, where today we're helping you enjoy a lifetime of, ooh, it's so good.
The Searsport Town Wharf may soon be going through a major transformation. Like many coastal communities, Searsport sustained major infrastructure damage from the back-to-back storms at the end of 2023 and early 2024. According to town manager James Gilway, the town has obtained a spending grant that was sponsored by Senators Susan Collins and Angus King. He says they plan to invest that money into the wharf to make it more resilient and vibrant.
Not just repair it, but make it a little bit more of a marina setting so that more pleasure boaters and commercial vessels can use it a little bit easier.
Gilway says they hope to begin working on that project by the end of this year. When we return, Devin Biggs has your 5-day forecast.
Paramount Paving, Maine's go-to for all your paving and seal coating. Paramount Paving offers commercial and residential paving and seal coating services throughout eastern and central Maine. Give us a call for a free estimate today. Paramount Paving. When it comes to paving, we are Paramount.
Got old metal and junk cars? Turn that clutter into cash at Daddy and Daughters. We make recycling easy, fast, and fair. From Skowhegan to Dover Foxcroft, from Troy to Lee, you can trust our certified scales and friendly service, offering top prices for junk vehicles in Maine. Whether you drop off or we pick up, Daddy and Daughters covers central and eastern Maine. Come see us at one of our 4 locations and watch your scrap pay off. Daddy and Daughters turn scrap into cash.
Hello, this is George Whelan with Down East Direct Cremation. Now, anytime, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 52 weeks a year, from the comfort of your desktop or the convenience of your mobile device, you can summon transport and arrange a simple, affordable, respectful Down East Direct Cremation for your deceased loved one. Just by using the button exclusively at downeastdirectcremation.com. All you need is the location address of the person who has died, their vital statistics information, a valid credit card for payment, and that's it. No need to pick up the telephone, no need to answer a bunch of questions, no need to come into the store, and it's still just $9.75 complete. It's so easy, even I can do it. For more information, visit us at downeastdirectcremation.com or call us at 207-225-5332. Simple, affordable, respectful. The button, only at downeastdirectcremation.com.
Paramount Paving, Maine's go-to for all your paving and seal coating. Paramount Paving offers commercial and residential paving and seal coating services throughout eastern and central Maine. Give us a call for a free estimate today. Paramount Paving. When it comes to paving, we are Paramount.
Let's check your full forecast with Devin Biggs. Devin?
Alrighty, Susan, thank you very much. Your full weather forecast brought to you by Old Town Redemption Center, now offering a 10% bonus on your returnables and a monthly $100 drawing. Alrighty, wave heights, let's check those out right now at around 3 to 4 feet according to the buoys, and a little bit sustained further off towards the north and east. So overall, they're behaving themselves, while further out towards sea, 4-foot wave heights pretty sustained as well. No issues with the ocean at this moment in time. We have no advisories up either on land or even out to sea. But meanwhile, the last of the precipitation has moved out. There's going to be some precipitation opportunities further off towards the north today, but for us, we are going to be staying dry today, but the rain will move in later on tonight. While farther down toward the south, some other areas are seeing some rain. There's been severe weather this morning and even parts of this afternoon developing in parts of Texas. But future for us, it tries to get some rain in for us. I do believe it will stay to the north this afternoon. The rain will start to move into our neck of the woods later on tonight. As you can see, we do get some rain showers in here late overnight and in parts of your Thursday. We'll have some rain shower opportunities with that. And then once we head towards Thursday night and the parts of Friday, those rain opportunities will also continue. But today, though, with the sunshine and some clouds mixed in, that UV index forecast for today will be at a 7. That's tonight's high. Burn time is simply 30 minutes, so hats, sunglasses, sunscreen, and shade will be your friend to avoid a bad sunburn. Otherwise, gusty winds today will reach up to around 20 to even 25 miles per hour at times. The winds will back off some gusts roughly at 15 miles per hour at times overnight, but increasing again to around 20 to even 25 miles per hour as we head towards your Thursday. For today, partly cloudy, breezy with highs in the low 80s. Northwest wind at around 25 miles per hour. Overnight, okay, mostly cloudy. The rain showers approach. Lows in the upper 40s and that north breeze backing off to about 5 to 10 miles per hour. And then tomorrow, mostly cloudy, some more rain showers. It's cooler with highs in the low 60s. North wind at around 25 miles per hour. Let's check out your extended forecast for your Friday. Mostly cloudy, slight chance for rain showers. Highs in the low 60s. And then rain chances return Saturday, even more cooler with highs in the mid 50s. And then for your Sunday, rain chances again. Here we are a little bit warmer with highs in the mid 60s.
Well, that's not what we want to see for the weekend. Grapes may be your next go-to for sensational skin. According to a study published recently in the journal ACS Nutrition, science, eating grapes regularly can help change gene behavior and give skin a boost of defense against sun damage. The study was conducted by scientists at Western New England University who say grapes could trigger DNA changes. Grapes could protect against damage done by chemicals that hit the skin when it's exposed to UV rays. And local authorities come to the rescue of a puppy left on the side of the road in California. Ventura County Sheriff's deputies say they rescued the 9-week-old pit bull terrier who's been hiding underneath a nearby vehicle. Witnesses say they allegedly saw someone dump the dog out of a car before calling local police. One deputy comforted the puppy with a blanket and stuffed animal and gave the dog a ride to a nearby animal shelter. The dog is now being housed at the Ventura County Animal Services Shelter and will be available for adoption on Friday. That's all for ABC 7 News at noon. Thanks for watching. I'm Susan Farley. We'll see you this evening on ABC 7 News at 6. Have a great afternoon.
When the morning light hits Maine, start your day with a good morning, Maine. Craig Colson, Janessa Bishop by your side, bringing the stories that matter statewide. Local news and the forecast ahead. Wake up informed, ready to go on ABC 7 and Fox 22.
You're watching ABC 7 Bangor.
The following program is a paid commercial announcement sponsored by Great Healthworks.